Good afternoon and welcome to From Where We Are, stories of news and culture through the lens of USC and Southern California. I'm Taylor Mills.
And I'm Ethan Huang. We're coming to you live from Studio B in USC's Annenberg Media Center. It's Thursday, November 3rd, 2022.
On today's show, what we can learn from how social media reacted to Takeoff's passing.
It just seems like there's a pattern of, because these people are such popular figures, that the entire society is entitled to, the first information about their lives rather than...
A historic no-hitter by the Houston Astros.
Bouncing ball to third, picked by Brickman, throw across in time. The Astros have a World Series no-hitter.
And an exclusive interview with both Karen Bass and Rick Caruso from USC Annenberg Media Center.
What my policy says is that there are some neighborhoods in Los Angeles that really would like to have an increased police presence.
All that and more from Where We Are after these news headlines.
From Annenberg Media, this is Stefano Fendrich. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was shot in the foot this morning at a political rally. His party reported this incident as an assassination attempt. Khan is in stable condition, but at least one person was killed in the attack, and a suspect has been arrested. In Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu today received a call from his opponent, current Prime Minister Yair Lapid, conceding the election. Netanyahu is now the next Prime Minister of Israel, regaining the position. He was previously Prime Minister of Israel from 1996 to 99, and then once again from 2009 to 2021. The Parkland school shooter has been officially sentenced to life in prison with no parole. The gunman will serve 17 consecutive life sentences, one for each count of murder for which he pleaded guilty. The shooter was able to avoid the death penalty, but will spend the rest of his life in prison. To this day, the Parkland school shooting remains the deadliest at a U.S. high school. The Los Angeles County Sheriff race is heating up, as a poll conducted last week shows that incumbent Alex Villanueva has fallen behind significantly to Robert Luna. Luna, a retired Long Beach police chief, is projected to get 40% of the vote compared to only 32% for Villanueva. USC homecoming weekend is this weekend as Trojan alumni are welcomed back to come and celebrate on campus before the football game. The sold-out on-campus tailgate will take place in the middle of Alumni Park a few hours before USC football takes on Cal. These are some of the top stories of the day.
The midterm elections are 5 days away. The latest polls have Bass leading Caruso by just 3 percentage points. Annenberg Media had the opportunity to speak with LA mayoral candidates Rick Caruso and Karen Bass. Thomas Johnson has more.
As we approach the final stretch of the LA mayoral race, Karen Bass and Rick Caruso are getting closer and closer in the polls. We were able to get in touch with Caruso at the Real Solutions South LA Town Hall last night, and here's what he said about why people should vote for him.
If you're happy with the way your community is today, if you're happy with your crime rate, if you feel safe, if you're happy with the homeless situation, if you're happy with the corruption, then I'm not your candidate. If you want change, our system is broken. If you want someone to fix the system and have real positive change to make LA more livable and safer, I'd be honored to have your vote and put me to work.
Caruso also discussed abortion, one of the most controversial issues amongst voters, and emphasized his pro-choice stance.
I've always been pro-choice, so that's always been my stance forever. And I think it's unfair that what Karen has done is to try to turn things on me. And actually, I think it's unfair to women in Los Angeles to make this a political issue.
Karen Bass and her allies have attacked Caruso for his donations to Republican candidates. But Caruso clarified that his donations have never helped anti-abortion causes.
I never gave a dollar to change Roe v. Wade. I never gave a dollar that would affect a woman's right to choose. I did give money to Republicans. 85% of my donations went to Democrats, like a Jerry Brown, like a Gavin Newsom.
We also got in touch with Karen Bass. Here's what she said about how she would change law enforcement in Los Angeles.
There are some neighborhoods in Los Angeles that really would like to have an increased police presence. In those neighborhoods, if that's what they would like to see, that's what they should have, if that's what they feel they need in order to feel safe. In inner city areas like South Central, East LA, Pico Union, there is not a big cry to have an increased police presence. What is wanted there are resources for community-based programs to prevent crime.
Karen Bass also stated She hoped Los Angeles City and Los Angeles County could collaborate more on issues.
One of the things that has been broken in our policy is the lack of collaboration actually between LA City and LA County. I'm not even referring to the other cities, just LA City and LA County. And so we need to expedite the process. We need to centralize the process. And there's a lot of regulations that need to be relaxed or waived or changed in a lot of different areas.
This election looks to come down to the wire. Make your voice heard and vote on November 8th. For Annenberg Media, I'm Thomas Johnson.
The two of us actually just came back from sitting in on the interview between Annenberg Media and Karen Bass.
Yeah, multiple journalists asked about the scandal surrounding her USC scholarship, and let me tell you, there was a palpable tension in the room as Congresswoman Bass did not want to answer those questions. But there is sure to be more tension next Tuesday for our live election coverage right here at Annenberg Radio News. As political violence continues to rise in America, President Biden spoke out against targeted attacks and urged voters to elect politicians that will put democracy first this midterm election. Tony Fajardo has the story.
President Biden gave a speech from Washington's Union Station Wednesday night addressing his thoughts on the current state of American democracy.
You know, American democracy is under attack because the defeated former president of the United States refuses to accept the results of the 2020 election. He has abused his power and put the loyalty to himself before loyalty to the Constitution.
Biden's comments were mainly in reference to the recent attack on Paul Pelosi, husband of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. According to court documents, the intended target of the attack was Speaker Pelosi. President Biden attributed former President Trump's denial of the 2020 election results in creating a more hostile political environment for all parties involved. A study from the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace found that 25% of Republicans and 17% of Democrats felt threats against the other party's leaders were justifiable, and 19% of Republicans and 10% of Democrats believed it was justified to harass ordinary members of the other party.
So today, I appeal to all Americans, regardless of party, to meet this moment of national and generational importance. We must vote knowing what's at stake and not just the policy of the moment, but institutions that have held us together as we sought a more perfect union are also at stake. We must vote knowing who we have been, what we're at risk of becoming.
The president ended his speech by denouncing violence to settle political differences, and rather fighting with your voice and your vote. For Annenberg Media, I'm Tony Fajardo.
Just 2 days ago, Migos rapper Takeoff was shot dead in a suspected murder in Houston, Texas. His last moments of life were captured in a cell phone video and have spread across social media like wildfire. Most notably, TMZ posted videos depicting the mortally injured rapper with his uncle and bandmate Quavo panicking beside him. Sierra Carpenter has the story.
Takeoff's death is just one of many that have been recorded and spread on media sites like TMZ and throughout social media platforms. Rappers like Nipsey Hussle, King Von, and PNB Rock's murders were all caught on camera and were subsequently shared on social media. Online sharing of the graphic last moments of these rappers' lives has often been a point of controversy. Many of these videos come without trigger warnings and are played on a repeated loop. Terrence Fitzgerald, who teaches at USC's Dworak Peck School of Social Work, says that these gruesome videos of violent Black death simply confirm the biases and stereotypes many people have about Black people.
And it's like, I already had these thoughts. Look at this evidence. There's this evidence right here that's supporting my preconceived thoughts, stereotypes, and beliefs, right? This false narrative of people.
For members of the Black community, some have also pointed to the handling of Takeoff's death as the exploitation of Black trauma. Seeing images and videos on repeat like this can be triggering and upsetting, as many people do not want to see prominent Black figures being dehumanized. Cameron Cole, a Black senior at USC who studies computer science and business administration, says that he has noticed a pattern in how Black Death has been portrayed in the media since the death of Kobe Bryant.
It just seems like there's a pattern of, because these people are such popular figures, that the entire society is entitled to, the first information about their lives rather than, talking to their family, understanding the full context, and then providing that to the public.
Another Black USC student, Jamil Muhammad, who studies business administration, calls for more humane treatment of Black Death.
Well, I think you have to first start with genuine intention to want to treat humans humanely. Like, I feel like that's just what it all boils down to. If you don't think that Black people deserve that, then you're not. Like, even if it's something that's subconscious, then you're not gonna handle it in the same way that you would white celebrity's death or whoever else.
Takeoff's death is all the more tragic when listening to an interview he gave a few days ago with the Drink Champs podcast. He discussed the steps he took to avoid being targeted as a Black public figure, like so many others had before him.
You gotta be careful with social media now. You gotta watch what you post and do stuff, because even though you just trying to show off or just, show your fans stuff, it's people that follow you and watch you that got bad intentions and don't want the best for you.
For Annenberg Media, I'm Sierra Carpenter.
A combined no-hitter by the Astros in Game 4 of the World Series led them to stealing the game on the road and one of the best pitch games in postseason history. Jackson Bry has the story.
Booze rained down in Philadelphia last night while the Astros stormed the field to celebrate the momentous win. The Astros didn't allow a single hit throughout the game, making it the second no-hitter in World Series history. 4 Astros pitchers threw a combined World Series no-hitter against the Phillies to tie the best-of-7 series 2-2. Baseball is a funny, unpredictable game. In a shocking turn of events, the no-hitter came only one night after the Phillies mashed 5 home runs and beat the Astros 7-0. The Wednesday night starter, Christian Javier, pitched 6 no-hit innings, and then 3 Astros relievers closed out the game to put Houston down in history.
And catching this thing. Real Muto. Bouncing ball to third. Picked by Bregman. Throw across in time. The Astros have a World Series no-hitter.
After the game, Javier was asked when he knew the night would be special. He responded immediately, saying that he was told by the people closest to him. Javier's parents told him on the day of his start that he would throw a no-hitter, a prediction which might put them down in history as well. The first World Series no-hitter came from Don Larson and the Yankees in 1956, an iconic baseball moment called by Vin Scully. The closest any other pitcher has gotten to throwing a no-hitter in the World Series was Yankees pitcher Floyd Bevins in 1947, when he threw 8 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball before giving up a walk-off double to the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was 1 out away. Game 5 of the World Series is getting underway right about now, so who knows what history will be made tonight. From Annenberg Media, I'm Jackson Bree.
And that's all the time we have for on today's From Where We Are. Spencer Klein, Jeffrey Lee, Claire Fogarty, Daishalyn Satcher, and Lutian Wang produced today's show.
Thomas Johnson runs our soundboard. Derek Redfield composed our theme music.
Follow us on YouTube at Annenberg Radio News and subscribe to From Where We Are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm Ethan Huang.
And I'm Taylor Mills from all of us at Annenberg Radio, wherever you are. We hope you'll join us again for From Where We Are.
Are you voting next Tuesday?
Absolutely. Any excuse to skip class.